I was recently reading Atomic Habits by James Clear and came across something that's nothing short of life-changing. If you go to page 92, it reads, "When scientists analyze people who appear to have tremendous self-control, it turns out that those individuals aren't all that different from those who are struggling. Instead, disciplined people are better at structuring their lives in a way that does not require heroic willpower and self-control. In other words, they spend less time in tempting situations. The people with the best self-control are typically the ones who need to use it the least." According to James Clear, it's not about being superhuman. It's about creating an environment that makes good decisions effortless. That is the secret that disciplined people have been hiding from us all this time. We've always had a false idea of how the mind of a disciplined person works. We imagine them constantly in a battle with laziness and desire 24/7 non-stop. And because of that, we've also been led to believe that the path to being disciplined only involves one step. And that's to fight your negative habits, fight your negative desires, and if you do that long enough and sustain it, you'll become a member of the highly exclusive 1% Club. And even though the path to being disciplined does involve those things, I think we can all agree that that whole process sucks. It hurts to say no to what makes you comfortable. But what author James Clear is telling us is that if we can reduce the frequency of those battles, we can make the path to being disciplined quicker, shorter, and more efficient. Now, the way to reduce that frequency is to remove anything in your surroundings that might tempt you to do a bad habit. And all that depends on what habit you're trying to get rid of. For example, say someone is addicted to smoking. They should try to distance themselves as much as possible from things which tempt them to smoke. This could be a friend group who are also addicted to smoking. By removing the stimulus completely, it is impossible for the habit to take place. And therefore, it becomes easier to quit a bad habit. Interestingly enough, Islam actually talks about this rule and urges us to take care of the people who are around us. The Prophet ﷺ said, "الرجل على دين خليله فلينظر أحدكم من يخالل." Man follows his friend's religion. You should be careful who you take for friends. Now, this also works the opposite way for a good habit. If you want to pick up a habit of regularly doing something, then place things in your surroundings that tempt you to do that habit. The goal is to stimulate your brain into doing that action. A very common trick is to keep something associated to that habit within an arm's reach. For example, since most of us are dehydrated, with one study even suggesting that 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated, it would help to drink more water. If we apply the rule we just said, then keeping a bottle of water close by, visible at all times, will increase the likelihood of us grabbing the bottle and drinking some water. And trust me when I say you can apply this to absolutely anything. You can have your workout clothes ready on your bed so when you get home from school, it's easier for you to change into those clothes immediately and get to the gym, rather than having to motivate yourself to go every single day. You can have a fruit basket on your dining table instead of some chips to help you eat more fruit. The list goes on and on and on. Now, these rules are great, but they shouldn't be used on their own. Just as you shouldn't rely on your willpower to fight bad urges. They should be used together to ensure the highest probability of success in whatever habit you're trying to quit or habit you're trying to implement. One useful way to think about it is to use the battling aspect in the short term as an emergency defense mechanism and using the rules of adding or removing cues as a long-term strategy. These rules are based on the first law of behavior change in the book Atomic Habits, which I left a link for down in the description if you're interested in reading more. And that's it from me. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and remember, with hardship comes ease.